This is the worst response to criticism I have ever seen from a politician, and that's saying a lot. Early yesterday, Christo, who's the producer for Friendly Jordy's YouTube channel, was arrested by the Fixated Persons Anti-Terrorism Unit for approaching John Barilaro, a politician in Sydney. Now, you might be thinking, wow, a member of Friendly Jordy's team is a terrorist? What did he do to deserve such persecution from the anti-terrorism police force? Was he plotting an attack? No, he was mostly just helping his boss dress up as Luigi to make fun of the guy at an event. Apparently, that is grounds to have your address stormed by anti-terrorism police, your dog kicked, your mum pushed over, and you yourself arrested and hit with some of the strictest bail conditions I've ever seen.
He must not approach Bruz or contact him in any way unless contacting him through a lawyer. He cannot go within 200 metres of any place John Barilaro lives or any place where he works. He can't possess or share images or caricatures of the protected persons. He can't comment on the personal appearance or behaviour of the protected persons.
Think about that for a moment. An Australian citizen is not allowed to discuss a politician that represents the area he lives in. Is this China or is this Australia? I have a lot of people who aren't from Australia, so I'm going to catch everyone up to speed here. Friendly Jordy's in Australia is our best journalist. Yes, that's right. The guy who makes Married at First Sight videos and dresses up as a man called Yilmaz from his high school is the best journalist in the country. Dear God, pedestrian, step your game up. Jordan has been covering John Barilaro's activities over many months, and I've been watching this with great interest, accusing him of many different things, corruption, lying under oath, and a myriad of other things. I highly recommend you check out the journalism and the investigative pieces they've put out on John Barilaro. I'll leave them in the description below. Now, John Barilaro is a very powerful politician here in Australia. He's the Deputy Premier of New South Wales. He also looks like a meatball, allegedly, if there are any police watching. Now, John is very upset with the Friendly Jordy's team, as would I be if he got an entire country to call me Bruz, dressed up as Luigi to crash my events, and got everyone in the country to call me a meatball. But that's beside the point. The point is, John has now sued Friendly Jordy's for defamation, which I actually support. That's his right to do. If he truly believes that Jordan has spread false lies and allegations that are provably false, then that's his right to sue him for defamation. I don't have a problem with it. I think he'll lose these cases, and I hope that he does, but that's what defamation is for. You've lied about me maliciously, I can prove it, so I'm going to sue you. If he can prove it, good on him. If he can't, good on Jordan. That's where these disputes should be settled. No issue with that. My issue is with what John Barilaro did yesterday morning. Plainclothes police officers ripped Christo out of his home and arrested him. In the process, they also allegedly hurt his mother and almost killed his dog. I say allegedly because in the video of the arrest, the police officer, in response to the allegation that they hurt Christo's mother and almost killed their dog, said this.
Over. You killed my dog.
I tripped over you.
You pushed me down in my own home.
No, I didn't.
You absolutely
environment.
Really, mate? You fell over, and in the incredibly short window of time of you standing to you hitting the floor, you managed to hit an old woman and almost kill a dog on the way down. How did you pull that off, dude? Yeah, no worries, John. I'll arrest the mean YouTuber's employee. All right, you're under arrest.
Oh, fuck you.
The Fixated Persons Unit is not a regular arm of the police force. They're not police you can call and report something to and they'll show up. They are specifically created to stop terrorism. They're the type of unit that are supposed to catch the guy who killed JFK before he kills JFK. But for some reason, just hours after Christo, an employee of a YouTuber who dresses up in a wig for comedy videos, bumps into John Barilaro, they raid his house and drag him out and arrest him. Why is that so? Who made that call? Who made that decision to get this employee of a YouTuber arrested by an anti-terrorism police force?
He's been charged with 2 counts of stalk and intimidate, intending to cause fear or physical or mental harm. Let me explain exactly what Christo did to warrant this arrest. Christo was in the city for a uni class he has regularly on most Fridays. To get there, he walks through the domain. He also had the lawsuit with him as he was photographing it to give to our potential lawyers. On the way back from his uni class, he noticed John Barilaro getting into a car. Now, as an employee of mine, he realised this was an auspicious opportunity to hand John back the error-laden document, giving John an opportunity to fix his mistake. He attempted to hand the document back, nothing more, nothing less. John ignored him, got in his car, and was driven off. An extremely innocuous interaction. Here's the full video.
Hey, John. John. Hey, John. I've got something for you. John, I've got a lawsuit. You're suing my boss. John.
Now, whatever you think of Friendly Jordies, it's undeniable that what he does is journalism. Whether you agree with his takes or not, that's not a prerequisite to being a journalist. Lord knows if being right was a prerequisite to becoming a journalist, there wouldn't be any of them fucking left, would there? John Barilaro feels he can do this to an independent journalist just because they aren't in the pocket of a giant global mega corporation that, let's be honest, are very pro John Barilaro. Whether you lean left or right, you like Friendly Jordies or dislike him, this is undeniably wrong. A journalist being arrested for asking a public figure, a politician, questions about a story that is already in the news is leading to them getting arrested by an anti-terrorism police force, allegedly under instruction from John Barilaro himself. Whether you're a liberal or a national voter, left, right, whatever, what John Barilaro has done is incredibly scary, and it's an attack on freedom of speech and the right of press to discuss and talk about politicians and to politicians. I mean, how many times has a current affair run up to a guy on Centrelink and done this very thing and not gotten in trouble for it? Apparently, you're allowed to do that to a Centrelink cheat who's just trying to feed his kids, but you can't do it to a multimillionaire politician. This charge, this case, if it sticks, if Christo loses this, he could go to prison for 3 years. And if that happens, it sets a precedent. This will affect every journalist in the country's ability to ask politicians to their faces questions about stories that are in the public's interest. If Christo goes to prison, shows like The Chaser could never happen again. This is the type of sketch they would regularly do. Is it fine just because they work for the ABC, a big company? Can only journalists who work for giant corporations, who, let's be honest, are often compromised, only do this type of journalism? Are independents at risk of being arrested for asking politicians questions just because they don't have enough money to buy into the system and receive unwritten immunity? This action by the police, by John Barilaro and the entire system, I think is absolutely disgusting. And I had to make this video. I understand it's not very funny. It's not the most entertaining thing that I've done, but I think it is one of the most important videos that I have done this year because this is an assault on free speech and independent journalism. Like I said before, whatever you think of the guy and his takes, whatever way you vote, left, right, whatever, this is an explicit attack on journalism. And we should all stand against it. And to the politicians of this country, if you are watching this and letting this happen, you are complicit. This type of behavior from a politician against a journalist, regardless of what they say, should be condemned. There was no violent intent with this. There's been no harassment, no stalking. This is a journalist doing their job. Whether or not you agree with what they are saying is irrelevant. You should not let your fellow colleagues treat the power they have like this and wield it against citizens and independent journalists. It's disgusting, and you should not stand for it. If you don't condemn it, you're a coward. As I said, this is still a developing story, so I will keep you guys updated. I really encourage you to check out Jordan's video on this on his channel. I've left the links to that in the description and the top comment of this video. I'm also going to be linking Jordan Shanks's legal fund, which is paying for Christo's defense. They have a really good lawyer who's tackled similar cases before against the powers that be, and I really do hope that they win this case and Christo goes free because, dear God, I couldn't imagine how guilty I'd feel if Keelan went down, you know? This is basically Keelan, my producer, getting arrested for some dumb shit that I've done. So, you know, if Christo goes down, it'll be you next, mate. That could be you. You know, I'd feel guilty about that, but I'd save a bit of money on wages. Maybe it will be a blessing in disguise. Guys, I've donated $100 of my own money to this fund, and I encourage you guys to donate as well. I'll keep you updated as I can, and just send some love to the Friendly Jordies team, because it's not just Jordan, it's many people that work there, and must be a very stressful time for them. But I just have to say, this is one of the most disgusting displays of power that I've seen from a politician. It looks very orchestrated to me. It looks like this thing happened in the morning and the cops were at his door the next day. It looks like a phone call's been made to me. It looks dirty, and I think that that's absolutely disgusting behavior from a politician who should expect scrutiny with the job. If you truly are that afraid of criticism, fight the case with your defamation case. Go and prove him wrong. Or maybe you can't, and that's why you sent the police in instead.